Well, hey, good morning. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30 plus year video game enthusiast and industry analyst. Today, February 7th, 2025, it is Friday, the final day of the work week, in which I have a Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show from 8 to 8:30 Central. So, yeah, we'll take the next 30 minutes to talk the latest gaming news, what I've been getting into. And it's funny because I'll have to tell you my story here in a minute. Good morning, Ultron. It's good to see you, and good to see you too here, Chris, because what was interesting is I got up later than I wanted to. Wasn't late for anything, but, getting the youngest ready for school, getting him out the door, getting all this stuff set up, getting time to research. I just got up later than I wanted to. And I'm like, crap. Because even my youngest, he likes to be up for a little bit to kind of just wake up. And then, but, we still have time to get ready and stuff. And so I'm looking at the latest news, and I'm like, man, there is not any news. So I'll probably play some games, which I might still do, but even then, it's not like it's anything exciting, just more of what I've been playing, which will happen from time to time on the show. I'm trying to make sure I don't inadvertently create a script that I'm constantly following all the time. I really want to make this where I'm in the morning, I just want to talk games. I might play a game. I might play a game I'm currently working on, or I might just try some new stuff. This is again, a way for me to kind of get all that out. And so, I'm sitting here looking up some news to talk about, and there's nothing. I'm like, man, there is no news. And then all of a sudden a bunch of cool news flooded in. So we're going to cover that here shortly. But first we're going to cover what I've been playing. So yeah, there we go, screen share. Street Fighter 6. I can't believe how much more I'm playing of Street Fighter 6, and I'm playing the World Tour mode. And I talked about it all week, pretty much, how the World Tour mode works like an open world. You run around, similar to Mortal Kombat Deception and Armageddon. And it's interesting because I feel like it's a blend of different ideas, and it's not like Capcom's like, okay, let's do an open world like this. I would say it even has a lot of feeling like, Yakuza. It's very Japanese, very Capcom-y. Like, it even has a feel of Dead Rising in it, the originals. And it's interesting because, Capcom, who makes this, also made Final Fight. And it's interesting when you go through different sections of that first open world. It's called Metro City, by the way, which is the name of the city in Final Fight. But you see landmarks, characters from the Final Fight series, and you're in 3D and fighting them. And it's like, okay, unless this is their test to do it, how come Capcom hasn't made a new 3D Final Fight? In fact, let's see when their last one was, because I want to say there was like a 3D one maybe 10 years ago or so. 15. Final Fight Double Impact. No, that's not right. Yeah, there was Streetwise, that I remember. Wow, that's really old by now. Final Fight Revenge. Okay, so this Double Impact, that must be like a release that had multiple games. Oh yeah, in the arcade. Let's see. Is a combined release arcade version of Final Fight and Magic Sword. Oh, well. So I think it's time Capcom revisits Final Fight and comes out with a new entry. I think it was not last year, but the year before. I just went through again and played through all the Final Fights. It's a lot more fun to do that now that they're on emulators, because they are kind of hard games. So being able to, and I forget which one it was. I forget if it was Street Fighter or Final Fight that didn't have unlimited continues, and it was like, oh shit, I got to do this again. And but yeah. Hey, Jim Killix, good to see you. Anyway, other than what I'm learning about playing Street Fighter 6, just how interesting, even though I'm right now, I guess it's weird. The reason I like to talk about this is because I'm playing Street Fighter 6, but with not the intention I was going into playing Street Fighter 6, because I just want a one-on-one, or, it could be tag team, fighting game where I go through, matches or whatever. And while this has it, I think I'm finding it endearing and interesting, their whole open world system, even though it's lacking in general open world, but it's interesting that this is part of a, bigger system. And the other thing that I did, I bought the DLC to get Terry Bogard, to get I also got this premium, or is it a premium? I think it's just called a battle pass or whatever. Normally I wouldn't do something like that, but I got the game cheap. I got the DLC cheap. So I didn't mind buying this battle pass they have where you get all the gear, because that's what's interesting about this game is even though you get a character that you can use for, like, I don't know, arcade or something, when you're in this game, the World Tour mode, you make your own character. And the character I made already looked like dark long hair and all that, just because I was trying to make something look like my wife. And then it's just funny how this pass I got has accessories for so except my accessories for your avatar. I didn't know the game worked that way, which is really awesome, because that means they would have had the Terry Bogard accessories for a character. And I know they had Ninja Turtles, and it was like, the Ninja Turtles were like 20 a piece or something. That's pretty crazy. But they're like costume parts you put on. So yeah, I get to run around in this World Tour mode as but still it's still where it's the simple controls or modern controls, and I'm trying to switch it and it won't switch, but I think it's maybe what I'm doing so far in World Tour mode requires that I'm using the modern controls because I do prefer the classic, and I think it's just because I grew up playing them. Yeah, I think starting with Street Fighter Alpha, they made Final Fight and some Capcom wrestling game canon to Street Fighter, so we get to enjoy Metro City for realsies. Yeah, and I love that. I think they need to double down on this whole idea. They really do. This pass was made for you. I forgot what Terry gave the avatar when he came out. Yeah, it's actually neat. Like, this is an example of, I think in a way Capcom's doing it right, because I actually got nearly her whole outfit. And yeah, I spent like $12, I think, and a bunch of other stuff too. Like I kind of like how this works, because it's almost like I can jump into a game at any time. I like the idea that I can jump into a game at any time and then have DLC available to me. It's just a coincidence. No, it's not a coincidence. I think I got back into Street Fighter because the Terry Bogard announcement. And I kind of like where you could jump into a game that's been out and there could be DLC available. Now, the thing is, you could easily miss out on DLC. I think an important thing is to be able to, and I think it's like what Halo is doing, some other games. I think even Fortnite's starting to do this now. The idea is to be able to choose any like pass and work on that to get your unlocks. When things are available for DLC and then it's gone, that's always too bad. GM Collects Slam Masters was the wrestling game with Hager in it. Oh, that's pretty cool. I haven't played Slam Masters, but I know about it. You know what? I might have played it and just don't remember. There was another game I was playing, another Capcom game I was playing that had Hager in it. Unless it was a Street Fighter thing and I just forgot. I think Captain Commando is too, but it's the future. Cannon Spike and kind of just happens on the side. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because that reminds me, I have the arcade one up that has a lot of the Capcom games. It has Final Fight, it has Captain Commando, and it has the other one, Battle something. But it's like, yeah, it has all those characters. Capcom really does have a lot of characters they could use. And I remember recently, the CEO, president, or someone there was saying that, well, we got to go back and start using more of our older IPs. And I was thinking, well, you guys already kind of are. But it's like, actually, there really are older IPs that are perfect for this day and age that they haven't been utilizing. Hager sadly missed all Street Fighter games, but he is in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's really neat. I love that connective universe. I love the idea of games of different genres that are in a connective universe. Are there any other games that do that? And not necessarily like a spin-off where it's like, oh, here's the RTS version of this game, but like in universe I want to say, like, isn't that what Control, the people that did Control and Quantum Break are trying to do, where those are all in the same universe with Alan Wake? That's pretty cool. All right. Godzilla. And, yeah, just playing Godzilla. Again, I whittle at this every day, and I'm getting closer and closer. I'm about to beat it, the God Destruction mode. I'm about to finish invading with the rest of the kaiju. I might have 3 or 4 left. And then what I have to do is potentially play through again with all 22 kaiju. And possibly a third time, which is crazy. That makes me think I might not be done until the beginning of the summer, but I want to finish this. Just because, like, some of the final achievements are maxing out the other kaiju. But you have to get the level up material to level up your kaiju, and you only get the level up material by doing runs. And you can't get enough to level up, to max out a kaiju. It's going to take more than one run. I don't know how many runs I did of God of Destruction mode with the Godzilla to level him up to max, but he has like a huge tree, whereas the other kaijus have smaller trees. Because there's that, and then each kaiju, also the XP they get, not only to level up them in terms of, their level, which is like their heat breath and their powers, but also the figurines that are used in diorama mode. You'll have to use their XP to buy those as well. And so there's a lot of that type of stuff. And so if I was, I've already talked a lot about the Godzilla game, how much I love it. If I'm going to complain about something, and I think it's a thing that most games haven't really figured out, is a leveling system, balancing how much time you put into max your level, but then for what? What's the end game, end goal here? I feel like sometimes the end goal is just to max, but I like the idea of, since I've maxed, I'm now in this new gameplay space for a game, and I should have some more content available for me. I don't know. Games need to start doing a thing where when you're max level, there's more content in a way. It's like there's something that happens to your max level character, and this could be any type of game. This could be like when I'm playing Dragon's Dogma. This could be like Sniper Elite, even that. Because sometimes once you get that last unlock, it's like, then now what? You've already played through everything to unlock everything, and now that you've unlocked it, what do you do? That's the biggest conundrum I think I have with gaming, is the unlock systems with end game content. And not multiplayer, because I think the difference in multiplayer is you are just chilling, playing with people. Okay, that's it for what I've been playing. Okay, so now we're going to jump into some news. Wait, real quick, looking at this. Oh yeah, its art was done by the artist of the Fist of the North Star. I love all that different artwork going on. Yeah, Alan Wake universe, Nier, Dragon Guard is another. Oh yeah. Speaking of Nier, it looks like they are making a sequel. And I almost downloaded it again. I have the first one, I haven't beat it yet. And I almost downloaded it. I've gone through, like, I think 2 different periods. When the game first came out, I played through to a certain point. And then maybe about a year and a half ago, I started playing it again. Oh, there's Doggy. That's it. Because I had it on PS4 when it first came out. And then I got it on PC, like, when they had, like, an Ultimate version on sale. And I think I need to complete it and finish it, because I do like what's going on there. It's funny, there are so many games that I think I would have played through or maybe not played through, depending on what other game releases came out around that time. You know what I mean? It's interesting to think that how there's always like, there would be a game I want to play, but what if there's another game I want to play more? So when a game first comes out, I'm playing that because I'm excited I want to play it, but then another game comes along and then I get sidetracked and never finish that other. And I think that happens a lot. I think there's a lot of games that I would have finished if it wasn't for another game. So Amazon has revealed the next wave of free games. Speaking of games, more games. maybe some games you missed. So the ones that you can get right now in Amazon Prime Gaming: BioShock Infinite, Surf World, AK Casatl, yeah, that thing. Sands of Aura, which out of all of them, that actually looked the most interesting. Actually, maybe also the Surf World. I feel like I would want to play a surfing game. Okay. And then the Talos Principle, which I probably already own that and never played it. Okay, the Surf World series. Let's look at this. Climax Studios? Is this the same Climax Studio? Interesting. They might be a port developer. Interesting. This looks really cool. Like, you know, it probably has that Tony Hawk feel to it. Interesting. Now, I'm starting to think I played this, actually. Interesting. Actually, I could find out. I can find out. Let's type in surf. Nope, audio surf. Yeah, something with this look. You know, and it's funny, secretly, I like surfing. A few years ago on a birthday, I went to this indoor surfing place. I don't know what it is. There's something about gliding on the water, even though didn't grow up doing it. Okay, so knowing that this is on Amazon, excellent. Okay, Sands of Aura, another one that's available. What is? So it came out in 2023. You know, looks like an action RPG, like a Diablo-like, things like that. It actually looks pretty good, and it's got positive reviews. So, and which one is that? That's on Epic Game Store. Okay. Okay, and then for the rest of the month, which I'll probably end up covering this again, Stunt Kite Party, the Smurfs 2, Smurf. Wasn't there? Yeah, didn't I play a Smurfs game recently and it was actually pretty decent? And this is 2023. It's like not that I even care about Smurfs at all. Like it's funny trying that game, how good it was, and so it's like, I wonder if they're gonna apply that here. It's interesting because this has, while this is like a 3D platformer, it also seems to have a 3D shooter feel to it. Yeah, it looks like I just saw like, yeah, you see how it has like a third-person shooter feel, but you still like jump and. Okay, this looks pretty neat. Again, it's like these games with good gameplay are hidden in Smurfs IP. So when is that? So that is February 13th, so that's not too far. Hard Space Shipbreaker, another one that I feel like I own it already. Lisfanga, the Time Shift Warrior. Interesting. I like the art going on. Oh, it's isometric. Oh, it actually comes out on the 13th. So it's a brand new game. And it's going, okay, so this is something to keep in mind. Oh, that makes sense for Epic Game Store. So the Epic Game Store is going to get this game Lisfanga on the 13th for free, and it's a brand new game. I'm actually going to launch Epic real quick and see if it has a demo. Steven, I'm glad you're here. Why does Smurfs go so hard? Yeah, I know. What's up with Smurfs having good games? All right. Okay, I'm just in my little. Okay, what was this game called? Lisfanga, the Time Shift Warrior. No demo on Epic. Interesting. Maybe Epic doesn't do demos. I just want to make sure that I'm okay. So if that's the case, I'm actually let me add to library. I'm not going to download it while streaming, but I'm going to check this out so I can report on Monday if this seems since the 13th is coming around soon. Report if this. It's interesting. The time shift forward. This kind of reminds me of like an isometric Prince of Persia. I do like that there seems to be a lot of dashing and stuff going on for this. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Pretty cool. Developer, Sand Door Studio. Oh, this is their first game. Really neat. Glad to just kind of stumbled upon that. Okay, Dark Sky on GOG. Oh, here we go. I can look at the Steam. You know, Steam has really taught me how important it is to have a good navigable site for looking at games, getting all the information you need, price, when it came out, developer, publisher, what are some tags. Like, really quickly getting that information, because GOG and Epic, GOG's pretty good. Epic doesn't really have that. Okay, this looks like a turn-based, yeah, it even says narrative RPG deck builder. I mean, that's some cool stuff there, but it's not my thing. And then February 20th, Wolfenstein Youngblood El Hijo, A Wild West Tale, Colt Canyon, Republic of Jungle, Royal Romances. On the 27th, Deus Ex Human Revolution, which I have like 8 versions of. Night Riviera. Sign Mora EX. I also have... Oh, is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, I think so. This is a shmup that came out about like 10... Oh, not 10 years ago. Oh, almost. It's interesting when this came out, because for me, and I own it, it's like, wow, this is like a really high-end shmup. But why? I love them. Don't get me wrong. A Grasshopper Manufacturer was also working on this one. So you know, and it's cool. I had fun playing it. You see, it's got mixed reviews because it's like super basic. It just has really high production value, which I think is maybe what they were trying to pull off. Redemption Reapers. That actually sounds interesting, and that looks interesting. Okay, it came out in 2023. Oh, player phase. So this is a turn-based. Okay, so there you guys go. If you're looking for a turn-based tactical RPG, which I don't hate. I don't hate. I gotta say, I don't hate. Yes, Your Grace. Okay, what was another one that sounded interesting? Republic of Jungle. Because I'm just thinking open world in a jungle, taking it over. No. No, it's a social deduction party game. They have to, yeah, nothing like I thought. Okay, so that's cool. All right, let's jump into some other news, because there's some interesting things that happened. Not this. We looked at this. Okay, Bloomberg. Warner Brothers video game division faces thin slate, leadership uncertainty, and Wonder Woman issues. In January, Warner Brothers Discovery Incorporated revealed that David Haddad, head of the struggling video game division, would be stepping down. To some who work closely with the veteran executive, the news didn't come as a surprise. Their only question was why it had taken so long. Warner Brothers Games had just suffered through a dismal year marked by a $200 million write-down in May on a painful flop. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, followed by a few months later by a $100 million write-down due to the failure of Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Oh, okay, and the fighting game Multiverses. One of the company's biggest bets in development, a video game based on Wonder Woman, has struggled to coalesce, according to people familiar with the project. Early last year, it was rebooted and switched directors. The game has already cost more than $100 million, said the people who asked not to be identified, discussing non-public information, and is years away from release if it ever makes it to market. According to interviews with 24 current and former Warner Brothers employees, a lack of strong, cohesive vision during Haddad's reign, a tumultuous period in which Warner Brothers struggled through multiple reorganizations, led to years of ineffectual trend chasing and wasted development time. Along the way, once revered studios under the Warner Brothers umbrella have taken reputable hits, lost key staff members, and lost key staff. Wait, I don't understand. Along the way, once revered studios under and burned through hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, it's just really doubling down on how bad the organization or management was under Haddad. And Rocksteady is looking to return to Batman for a single-player game. They don't have the same developers, though, but according to people familiar with the timeline, the new project is years away from landing. On Montreal, now the Montreal studio is helping out with other projects such as Wonder Woman while working on a pitch for a new game based on Game of Thrones. It's very interesting sometimes. You look at a company like Warner Brothers, all the IP they have. And it's like, you look at Capcom, look at how they're using their IP. You know, it can be done. It just, I guess there is a stop. There's a person that these decisions get to, that either makes the decision to, we need to restaff, well, let's just keep trying. So, and who knows if that's an executive or a creative decision. At this point, an Arkham remaster would probably be a more solid source of income. You know what? Okay, so Arkham Knight. It's been 10 years, and I played it recently. I played it last year to jump in for fun. I think they had some new DLC that I hadn't tried, right? Yeah, they had the Battinson suit, I think they added. Arkham Knight, as fun as it is, I felt it as being dated when I was playing it. So I actually think a remaster would make sense, especially if they maybe, I don't know, make car combat optional or limited it or something. I think, you know, I'm not always, what am I trying to say? Usually I'm against remasters always being made all the time, but I think an Arkham game at this point can use a remaster because they kind of did a trilogy of games by the main dev plus some side games. They tried the multiplayer stuff. Maybe regroup, let's, make it where it's a remaster or maybe even a remake where maybe there's some major quality of life improvements that you can make to that game. I wouldn't remake Knight. I would remake Asylum. Remaster Knight. I don't know. To be honest, some people need to stop pushing Arkham from Rocksteady. Well, yeah, also the original developers are mostly gone anyway, so it's not like the creatives that came up with Arkham are, you know, they're making it, right? So it's, I think they probably need to move on. That's probably a good point. They need to move on from Rocksteady being the Arkham people, move away from that Arkham and just do, hey, let's do some Batman. Let's get a good developer. Let's make another open world Batman. Let's see. The basic WB had at least 6 CEO changes within 10 to 15 year period. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, these companies are, you know, I mean, we see it as a consumer. Like, we see that they're just trying to meet a bottom line, which is the problem, instead of trying to... Yeah, it reminded me of, what was the other thing? I think Sega canceled their Football Manager for this year just because it didn't make as much as they thought it would or something like that. It's like, well, maybe, but maybe there's still people that like it and you can make money off them. So maybe just balance it that way. It's weird how it's all or nothing. Okay, interesting WB news. So Daniel Camilo, contributor at industry.biz. Oh yeah, this is that news I saw. Nier Automata sequel, Fire Emblem remake. Interesting. New AAA Tomb Raider and a new AAA Castlevania will be announced this year. Okay, so big deal here for me is this AAA Castlevania. I have heard that a big AAA Castlevania was in the making. But that's all. That's all I've heard. I haven't heard anything else. So far, Camilo has not been reliable. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, some of this stuff just sounds like almost like anyone could just make that up. All right, new evidence seems to indicate Sega is developing a new Sonic fighting game. Well, that's interesting. I don't know. Oh, 3D battle action game. Okay. Interesting. So I like the idea of this. You know, at one it's like, oh, a new fighting game, but then someone kind of clarifying that it is saying 3D battle action game. So it's not going to necessarily be a traditional fighting game. I think that's really cool. I think that's cool to put Sonic into something else. And because it's kind of like this character-based with fighting potentially, there's going to be a lot of characters. This could be live service potentially, or like a Power Stone, although they have that fighting collection, or Capcom has that fighting collection coming out later in a couple months, I think in May, maybe March or May, that has Power Stone, which is cool. So that's cool news. Cool news. Let's see. Dawn of War 4, the latest leaks seem every day more legit. So I'm a huge fan of Dawn of War. 1 and 2 are excellent. 3, I don't know what was going on with that. Like, I just know I wasn't having fun. I couldn't really put my finger on what I wasn't having fun with. So a 4 would be great. Is there any what is the I'm kind of scared to click on 4chan. Okay. Oh, that's gone. Oh, and this was 6 days ago. Okay. Oh, someone's showing some terrain. I guess that's the leaks. You know what? I'm down for Dawn of War 4. Just interesting what they're gonna do with that. Are they gonna do the RTS? And that's actually it for the news. Are they going to do like a standard Command and Conquer style RTS like Dawn of War, the first one, which I liked because it's basically you just base build, army build, you go out in the world, capture points, hold lines, fight until you can get to the enemy base? Or is it going to be like Dawn of War 2 where it's still fun, still real time, but it wasn't a base builder and you carried around a little group with you, and as you went, you would call in more to help. Which the difference mainly being is I like base management. You know, it's like it's having the structure I have of resources and energy that I have to defend while I'm doing. And that's what I liked about Dawn of War 1, because while I still have my base, you're capturing points later on in the map that you're holding and defending, and that's where battles can happen. So anyway, let's see. Maybe just a Sonic Smash Bros. Style game like Onimusha Blade Warriors. Wow. That I totally forgot about Onimusha Blade Warriors. Yes, do Sonic like Onimusha Blade Warriors. That'd be neat if Sega is trying to come up with a unique kind of fighting combat thing. You know, Multiversus is getting closed down. And, you know, we were just talking about WB. When that is an example of a game that should just exist. Like, I think it would do fine. If, you know, not worrying about the corporate Warner Brothers stuff. Jim Killex, I wonder, puns, what a Wonder Woman game would even look like. You would have to isolate and define her core essence, and that could be a struggle as long as her history. Yeah, I'm interested too, because I don't know how much they want to lean into. And again, this game started development at a time when the prestige Sony titles seemed to be the way to go. We're making this more of a narrative driven, you know, where it has a tight combat system, but that's not what the game is about? Or are they going to make it where it's very gamey, where there's a lot of like you know, the Avengers game, which I think was almost amazing. So all right, well, I'm going to head out, guys. Thanks a lot for joining this morning. Cool conversation here. Curious, yeah, what you guys are going to play this weekend. I'll probably be playing some more Street Fighter 6, Godzilla. Might jump into more Sniper Elite to start getting some of the side items, and maybe some Ninja Gaiden 2 also, since that's easy to jump in and play. But again, have a very good weekend. I'll see you Monday. Peace out. Yeah, I mean, I could sit here forever with an outro, so I got to go. So.